Elizabeth Olsen is teasing the future of Wanda in the multiverse, and specifically talking about how she hopes to come face to face with the X-Men and mutants. It seems like that every time we start to get a little bit further away from another multiversal project, we start hearing more and more about the introduction of mutants and the X-Men. And if you follow the pattern post Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, this has been something that everybody at Marvel Studios has been willing to talk about a little bit more. And obviously the actors are restricted by NDAs and they're not allowed to say anything, but before they weren't even allowed to really mention mutants or what they would want just because of what they're told. Now things have changed. Recently, in an interview with E.T., Elizabeth Olsen was talking about the future of exploring the multiverse, and specifically if there was any ideas or plans to come face to face with Magneto, the X-Men, or mutants in general. And she says that she's a huge fan of the comics, and she would love to be involved with that franchise in any capacity going forward. Whether it's the multiverse, whether it's the MCU mutants proper, or whatever they decide to do, that she wants to do it. And once again, she talked about how she loves House of M and that whole idea, and that it would be interesting to explore that whole side of it and see how they could do it in a slightly different way, just like what they do with the MCU. Now again, if we really think about that for a second, I think quite clearly that you could see that PR is allowing them to start hyping people up. Now, whether or not we get the MCU mutants proper in the MCU, or they're multiverse and that's the only way we get them, and then we have to wait for a while for a proper MCU reboot that has the mutants straight from the start, it's really going to be interesting to see what they do. But in my opinion, I think the way that they're handling everything moving forward is going to have to be the multiverse using those aspects because of Deadpool and everything, and she will eventually come face to face with some mutants again, because she already came face to face with Charles Xavier, but they never straight up go and talk about mutants in that film because they wanted to avoid it at all costs. If you knew, you knew. If you didn't, well, whatever. It's a guy in a wheelchair who has powers. So I kind of get how they're treating that and how they're going to continue to treat it, and to me this makes a lot of sense. You don't necessarily need the MCU mutants proper to be everywhere, but through the use of the multiverse they can do it, and she said multiple times that they can find a way to do it. So who's to say in Doctor Strange 3, for example, we're not going to end up in a multiverse that has mutants, except Wanda does the no more mutants thing, and then we see the fallout of that. Or maybe that's what she did in the X-Men universe that we followed with the films, and that's what Deadpool will deal with. Again, we don't know, but they seem to be talking about it more and hyping up the possibility. So it seems like we're going to eventually see her as part of some sort of mutant group, or at least come face to face with them, and hopefully Magneto as well, because I think many people want that.